Does the new Superman soar or crash and burn? Well, I got to see it in theaters last night, and let's talk about it. Hi, my name is Bob, and today on Was It Good, we're going to be talking about the new Superman film, which launches the new DC universe and is directed by James Gunn. Now, before I get into this review, I do want to let you know that this review will be spoiler-free, but if you've seen the movie already, feel free to go ahead and spoil away by dropping a comment in the comment section below and let me know what you thought about this movie. As always, don't forget to hit that like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Now let's get to it. When Superman becomes entangled in escalating conflicts both at home and abroad, the world begins to question his place in it. Seizing the moment, tech mogul Lex Luthor sets a plan in motion to take the Man of Steel down once and for all. With danger mounting, it's up to intrepid reporter Lois Lane, Superman's loyal dog Krypto, and the Justice Gang to help Superman stop Luthor's scheme before it's too late. I don't think I've ever seen a comic book movie as scrutinized before it released as much as this one has been. First off, you've got fans of the Richard Donner Superman longing for better days,
Easy, miss. I've got you.
while the hardcore Zack Snyder fans are still upset about the cancellation of the previous DC universe. Throw in some political controversy, and we had a lot of people talking about this movie even before it released. Now, I did my best to not be influenced by any of that, and I was very hopeful with this one, but let me start off with what worked. First, this is a true comic book world that this movie it takes place in. This is not a film where the characters are taken out of the comic books and dropped into reality. This is very much a comic book world. An example is when Superman is fighting this giant monster, and it feels like this is just business as usual within Metropolis. And having this set in a true comic book world opens up a lot of possibilities for the future of this franchise and what you can do with other characters within the DC universe. So I'm excited about the possibilities that opens up, and I thought it was very unique and very different from what's come before. Next, I thought the casting was really good. I enjoyed David Corenswet in the role of Superman and Clark Kent. I thought that he had that positivity that you expect from the character, and the chemistry that he had with Rachel Brosnahan, who played Lois Lane, I thought was really strong, and it had a very good dynamic between the two. So I enjoyed the casting of those two characters. And Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor, I thought he was a pretty strong Lex Luthor. And there's one particular scene where it shows how evil he can be, and I really enjoyed him in the role. And he was actually the one I was looking forward to the most to see how he would do portraying this character. And overall, I was pleased with his interpretation. Also, there are a couple of standout characters that I didn't expect to enjoy that I really liked. Mr. Terrific is one of those. He had probably the best action scene in the movie, and I thought he had several great lines. And then Guy Gardner, when we saw those pictures of him, I thought he was going to be terrible, but Nathan Fillion, he was a blast in this role. I really enjoyed him. And for both of these characters, I'm looking forward to seeing them in future installments of the franchise. I also need to address Krypto.
Ow, stop. Ow, stop it. Krypto, ow, ow, stop it.
If you do own or have ever owned a dog, you can relate to this character. I thought he was harmless and he was kind of fun, so I enjoyed Krypto. And finally, I want to address the political controversy. I have no idea why the filmmakers and the actors and the media all wanted to make a big deal out of this. If politics plays a role in this movie, I think it's very subtle, and I don't think that the film really addresses it too much as far as modern day politics. So I do appreciate that the film kind of stayed away from those things. Now, although there were a lot of things to like about it, there were several things that didn't work that really dragged this movie down for me. First off, when it comes to the story,
Superman's bad.
and that's a shame because I was really hoping for a good Superman story, but what we get is a film that is very bloated as far as the story goes. There's too much going on, too much too soon, and because of that, there's no real character development for a lot of the characters, and you're not really left with time to breathe when it comes to some of the things going on. And because of that, it was difficult to get emotionally invested. Plus, I thought the first 30 minutes or so wasn't really that good, and it got better as it went on. But again, I just wasn't really emotionally invested in it by that point. Also, there's some very interesting interpretations to the characters of Superman's birth parents and his adoptive family. The adoptive family, I think, were okay, but the way they were portrayed for most of it, I didn't particularly like. And then his birth parents, some of the changes made there just did not work for me at all. And as somebody who's a big Superman fan, I found those changes to be very jarring. Also, when it comes to the visuals, both with flying and the fight sequences, this is a very clear downgrade from what Zack Snyder was doing before with Man of Steel and Batman v Superman and his Justice League. Those were much crisper and looked a lot better visually than these did. The flying, was okay in some parts. Others, I didn't particularly like it. And when the best fight sequence comes from Mr. Terrific and not Superman, I do think that you have a problem. So for me, this was a clear downgrade from what came before. Finally, I need to address James Gunn's style. It's very clear that he has a vision for where he wants to take the DC universe as far as the style and that it has a comic book feel, but I don't know if his style of humor actually works well for this character. It's worked well in a lot of his other films. For example, I really like it in the Guardians of the Galaxy, his Suicide Squad movie. I enjoy Peacemaker, but I don't know if it really works for this character. A lot of it felt out of place, and because of that, it fell flat for me. Now, I do need to point out that this might be more of a preference thing because my kids really did like it. They said that it was silly, but they had a good time with it and they laughed. But for me personally, I was hoping for something more. And I don't think that James Gunn was the right man to write and direct Superman. I think that this would have been better with another director. But again, this might just be my own personal preference. Real quick, before I get into my final thoughts, I want to remind you to go ahead and check out the other videos on my channel. Maybe I've reviewed something that you're interested in, or something that you've seen already and you'd like to let me know what you thought about it. Also, for those that are interested, I do have another YouTube channel with a couple of my friends where we put on a show called Dad's Turn to Talk. This is an opportunity for three dads to get together and talk about the things that we want to talk about, including movies, sports, pop culture, and have a little bit of fun at each other's expense. The link to that channel will be in the description below. Final verdict. Was it good? To be honest, I was disappointed overall by this movie. The film had potential, but the execution just did not land for me. Now, that being said, I did say that my kids had a good time with this one, so I do think that this is going to register with the general audience or the normies. I think they'll have a lot more fun with it than those of us that are hardcore fans, because I think this film is going to split a bunch of us. I do think there's some really good casting. There's a lot of potential here for the universe and the franchise that's being created. In fact, I'm really looking forward to the Lantern show and seeing where that goes. But I think that this film would have been better in the hands of a different director. And I'm not sure if going forward, James Gunn is the right hand to guide the entire franchise. Now, I could be wrong on that one, but that's just what I think. After seeing this film, I was really hoping for more, and I was very disappointed in this film. I wanted a lot more from a Superman film, and I just didn't get it. Now, if you're still watching this, I'd like to thank you for joining me. Don't forget to hit that like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next time.